You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time.
An explosive yet controversial and yet also kind of honest end of season press conference from head coach Miami McDaniel and GM Chris Grier. If you are watching on YouTube, you will notice that we used this title on Monday's episode, but the conversation spoke about Grier. So we thought we would run it back today and look at how and why Chris Grier and Mike McDaniel kept their jobs. To join me, as always, discuss all of this is Mr. Charlie Touche. What time is it?
It's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm your boy, Charlie Touche. Got my co-host, Kadeem Simmons, with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. Your favorite podcast, and official affiliates of Fanatics, where you could be a fanatic of your favorite franchise. Kadeem, bro, I was going to say we got some holidays on Go Time Dolphins, but I think we shouldn't call them holidays. I think we should call them Dolphin Days. Like, we got some Dolphin Days on the podcast. And if you don't follow the podcast, I don't want to spoil them. I just want them to come up. But today in particular is one of those Dolphin Days where we celebrate some Dolphins history. And January 7th, 2015, former Miami Dolphin fullback Rob Conrad. If you already know the name, you know where I'm going with this. We celebrate this man on this day every year on Go Time Dolphins, and this is one of those Dolphin days. Rob Conrad was fishing in Fort Lauderdale, the same waters, Kadeem, the same exact waters where you see me and LB taking pictures at. We're fishing on the boats, same waters right there. And ended up falling off of his vessel. The throttle was down on the vessel. The vessel basically just drove away. And he had to swim 16 hours. 16-hour swim to safety and finally made it. And there's a discrepancy in how far he swam. There's 9 miles and he covered 27 miles. So it's a little discrepancy, but there's no discrepancy with a 16-hour swim, Kadeem. So today is Rob Conrad Day on Go Time Dolphins, bro. So shout out and salute to Rob Conrad. Kadeem, can you swim 9 hours or 16 hours?
You asked me the question before, and it's as the cliche says and is, if my life depends on it. Like, there are situations where if you stop swimming, you're going to die. Like, and I can only imagine where he is. There's no like you can see land. You're probably just like you can just see ocean all around you. To an extent, like I don't know like where exactly he is, but it's not like he's on a lake. You can see some trees and some people walking. I can only imagine if you're swimming for that long to make it back to shore, you are in the middle of the ocean or some body of water. So that's just pure adrenaline, pure. I need to keep going. My body, every muscle in his body must be screaming to stop. It's like, if I stop, I'm dead. So that's a level of strength I honestly don't know if I have, but it's just amazing.
You don't know how strong you are until strong is the only option that you have to be, right? And I'll be real with you. 16 hours, Kadeem, I might not be able to swim 16 minutes, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. Now I'm a pretty good swimmer, actually. I'm not the cliche, the typical, oh yeah, we don't swim. Like, nah, bro, I'm pretty all right. I don't want to say a strong swimmer either. I'm not a strong swimmer. Like, you know what I'm saying? But if it came down to it, I could carry someone else if I had to, like, for a little bit while we're swimming. I could do that. But 16 hours, bro, I gotta imagine it got dark. You know what I'm saying? It was dark, and he was just now he's just swimming, and now it's the unknown beneath him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. So 16-hour swim. Salute to Rob Conrad, former Miami Dolphin fullback, man. Like, and I'm pretty sure he was pretty big still, you know, as a former football player, and muscle does not float. So shout out to Rob Conrad. We always give that man a tip of the hat on this day. Kadeem, bro, we got something to talk about. Mike McDaniel and Chris Grier had the season recap debrief. What did you make of it? Oh, you know what? Before we start, I ain't gonna lie. Kadeem might look a little different right now, and it's because he pulled his best Josh Allen impersonation, and his camera was glitching right before we came on. It was like the funniest thing. I'm like, yo, Dog is pulling Josh Allen right now, right before we start, and Dog was in glitch mode for sure.
I don't want to bring it up. Bonus time. Save us to bonus time. You'll see what it's like. I bet you any money will be fixed by then. But before we delve into the specifics of what each man said, my overall take from it was the team knows, the owners, the coaches, the players, they know it was a disappointing season, but also no matter what they said, to a degree, fans are going to be angry. Like, unless they came out and said Tyreek Hill has been released, Tua has been released, and we are about to resign effective immediately, fans didn't want to hear the excuses. Heard excuses, they've heard the reasons why, all that kind of stuff. And I found a bit of what they said, refreshing, honest, and it'll be interesting to see if their actions for the next few weeks, months, follow up what they said. But yeah, I can't ask for much more from two people who aren't basically, bare their souls and be totally honest when they've still got a job to do and, secrets to protect to make sure they can have some kind of advantage going into free agency and the draft. How about you, Malik? What did you think of?
I heard a couple words to describe it. You said honest. I've heard candid. I heard frank. And I'm going to use a word similar, which was transparent. Bro, you don't get much from Chris Grier, really. But Chris Grier gave a lot more than he usually gives. And I appreciated that. And I think it's also a message, too. It's just not just a conversation for the media and the fans. It's like, this goes to the team, too. You know what I'm saying? So the team has to believe in leadership as well, or else you're not going to have people want to stay and people aren't going to want to come and people are going to want to leave, all this other good stuff. So it has to be for the team as well. And Chris Grier touched on the two things that I believe he's actually responsible for. There's a lot of people in Dolphins media and social media who I think are unfair, but it's just an opinion, so it is what it is. But the two things that I do think he's responsible for is the O-line and the backup quarterback. Well, I want to say should be blamed for it. You know what I'm saying? There's some other things where I feel like a lot of people blame Chris Grier for. I'm like, yo, that's on Coach McDaniel. That's not on Chris Grier. You know what I'm saying? So, or other things like that. But O-line and quarterback, when I tell you the quarterback topic got addressed, the backup quarterback topic got addressed right away, I'm like, I wish I had a snack. Kadeem, you ever like listen, you ever like got some like you was about to watch a show or a movie or something, but before you got settled in, you got something like a little snack or maybe a whole meal. I don't know. Some people are, I want to eat a whole meal and watch a movie type thing. Like, yo, I'm a little snack person. Like, yo, let me get ready. You know how T.O. say, get your popcorn ready. I'm like, man, I ain't know it was gonna get into it like this. So Chris Grier says, last offseason, paraphrasing here, we had every top flight backup that we wanted to have. Like they wanted to come here. We had a chance at them, and ultimately, the budget, it wasn't in the budget. Right away, I thought, whose fault is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, whose problem is that? You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm like, oh, why even give us that? You feel me? So he was like, yeah, we were really close with a couple, and a couple got away, and all this almost hit me like that draft talk where he was like, yeah, we tried to move up, but we couldn't move up. For a couple times, it was last year, the year. As a matter of fact, I feel like it's every year he says,
every year there's at least one round like we tried to move up and we couldn't, so we stayed still.
Yeah, bro, well, like how hard did you really try, or are you just saying you did it just to say you tried? You feel me? So same way with the quarterback thing, like we tried, but there was too many restraints and cap restraints and all this other good stuff. And then he said something that I appreciated, because everyone knows on this podcast that I'm not a Skylar Thompson fan, never was a believer, not 1 second ever. And I wasn't Skylar Thompson basher either, like, oh, he's trash, we need a different back. Nah, I'm here, you got to prove it or lose it. You feel me? So Chris Grier said, yeah, we had and to be fair, Skylar Thompson's only been on the team 3 seasons, just like Coach McDaniel. So to be fair, Chris Grier said we had some top flight backups, but we felt pretty good with Skylar Thompson. And here's why. Although I disagree, like, you shouldn't feel pretty good with Skylar Thompson. He said and it was some comments from Go Time Dolphins that alluded to this as well. And then I just shut them down real quick, right? And he was like, yo, when Skylar Thompson played in the playoff game against Buffalo and we went pillar to post, it was a really good game. And when we seen Skylar Thompson, he put up a pretty good showing. I can't say performance, but I can say it was a good showing. It was, I ain't gonna lie, I don't know if I should use the word promising either, but it was like, all right, there's something that could be here, and we got to look at growth. So Tua didn't get hurt the second season Skylar Thompson was on the team. So we didn't see Skylar Thompson for an entire year. So I get why the coaches might have been like, yo, look at where Skylar Thompson started, and now he's 2 years in the system. Going into the third year, you would like to think like, okay, there could be something here with Skylar Thompson. But I was not buying it, Kadeem. There was preseason. Even in the Buffalo game, I think this was something that we could build a foundation on with Skylar Thompson. I disagree. But I understand that logic of, well, Skylar didn't get a chance in the second season because Tua played every game. Here we are in the third season of the Coach McDaniel era, and it is as clear. Can't even come up with an analogy right now, but it is clear as day. It is clear that we need a backup quarterback, and we also need an O-line. But about this backup quarterback, Chris Grier says every stone will be unturned, and including in the draft. Listen.
So say that again. Say every stone unturned.
I think he said unturned. I don't know what
because that means. So like, if this is the stone's here.
Yeah, it's not.
Every stone's going to be unturned. They're doing nothing, bro. Like, if this is the stone, every stone's going to be unturned.
Hold on. I do believe he said that, bro. Unturned. Yeah, that's it. The opposite direction or in a reverse way. Unturned, bro. I believe that's a phrase though. What's the phrase then? If it's not unturned, what is the phrase?
Let's fact check this. So I'm typing on Google. Every stone. The phrase is every stone will be turned, and that makes more sense. If this is the stone and you're going to turn it,
yeah, but I don't think he said turn. I think he said unturned. Hey, is he giving us like a? Is he? Hey, listen. While you talk, I'm gonna try to find out exactly what he said, but I believe he said unturned, bro.
So, do you know what's interesting? Apparently, it comes from the Bible, but it's a different phrase. So, apparently, Matthew 24, verse 2, every stone will be thrown. It's a phrase. It's
no, that's not what we're looking for.
No. But if you Google every stone will be turned, that's
I got it. It's supposed to be no stone would be left unturned.
There we go.
You know what I'm saying? But I think he used it wrong. I think he used it wrong. You feel me?
You know what it is? When I had a conversation with Stephen Ross, obviously Chris Grier I was on loudspeaker. So now how I get just done stuff wrong. So I must have said that. And then Chris Grier heard it, was like, you know what? I'm gonna drop that because it made sense. Yo, Grier, don't do that again. Don't drop my bars because you look stupid. And because you look stupid, like, yeah.
I think he probably meant no stone would be unturned, and anything. I think he said every stone would be unturned. That's funny.
Yeah.
So we're not getting a backup quarterback if you listen to Chris Grier real closely.
Pretty much, yeah.
But anyway, he did say, yo, we're looking in the draft for a quarterback as well.
So I will caveat with this. He could have been lying out of his skin. He could have known exactly what to say to get, fans back on side. Yeah, we're going to turn over all the time. We did everything we can. Because again, it's easy to sit here in January and go, well, we tried. But fans are never really going to know unless you were there in the room with him. What's interesting is, and the two, the Skylar Thompson bit, where I have no issue saying this. Shout out to people like TD Finstalk, who spent an entire season saying Skylar Thompson is the answer. Tua is trash. I went down to training camp. Skylar Thompson was balling, all this kind of stuff. And then I had to be silent because if Skylar Thompson's better than Tua, we just never saw it in Miami. Like, there were, not just him, but there were multiple Miami Dolphin fans that were arguing until their faces were blue that Skylar Thompson was a better quarterback than Tua Tagovailoa from what they saw, all that kind of stuff. So that's the first thing. It's not as if the Dolphins were the only ones saying this, because there were legitimate fans. You say legitimate fans who can be Dolphin fans who were like, no, Skylar's the answer. So that's my first thing. But my second thing kind of also goes, we sat here both on YouTube and on Patreon going, should the Dolphins bring in Justin Fields? Should the Dolphins bring in Bryce Young? And fans were like, no, they're trash. And as it's aggressive, like, yo, those guys look pretty good. When Bryce Young got benched, and fans were like, nope, he's trash, he's undersized, all this kind of stuff. And then look how things progress. And
I think you could have easily got away. I think you easily could have got away with like less than a 2 or a 1. Like, you could have got away with like multiple second day compensation for Bryce Young at that time when he was stinking up the joint.
100%. 100%. What's interesting is, shout out to all the people on social media who are like, I'm giving up now because, or the team doesn't listen to the fans, so I'm going to stop supporting. And my whole thing is, if the team listened to you, we would have the Sean Watson at quarterback. Or, we would never have even attempted to go for Justin Fields or Bryce Young because you didn't want them. So it's easy to sit from your couch or on your podcast or whatever and bash the decisions Chris Grier makes when you would get the same decisions wrong. So just in the backup quarterback, now, like, you might be able to go and get a Justin Fields, but the price for Justin Fields has gone up. If the Steelers still have him under contract, I'm not too sure.
So no, Justin Fields on a 1-year contract, so he's going to be a free agent next year. Same thing with Russell Wilson. So Pittsburgh's going to have to make a decision on what they're doing with quarterback. One of them is going to be available.
But to also to what you're saying about they tried last year, and because of financial reasons, it's only going to get worse because Tua's contract now kicks in, which means you're paying, you're paying all these guys different, more money and stuff like that. But also, it's like what we said when we questioned why the Dolphins would pay $8 million for Mike White or all this kind of stuff. It's because you kind of need to go and get the best. But also, if you're a backup quarterback, you're going to be more wanted in Miami because you're also going to play as well. Like, minimum in Kansas City, knowing like you're not going to play. You're just going to sit there, come in week 18, throw up a duck, and that's it. Whereas in Miami, you have the leverage. You'll be like, yo, you need me more than I need you. I can go elsewhere and just sit there, but you need me to come and actually play. So the price of the brick has gone up. It's now 10 million. And I think that's the...
You said the price of a brick?
Yeah, the wire. Like, Yo,
I knew what you meant. I just didn't know if you actually said it on this podcast. The price of a brick just went up.
string a bell, man. Yo, let them know the price of bricks gone up. So, yeah, conversations this offseason when you are trying to find a veteran quarterback, do not be surprised if the Dolphins sign anyone on the kind of deal that they signed Jay Cutler for 1 year, 10 mil. That's the kind of ballpark thing if you want to go and get a good backup quarterback. And then the fans are going to go, well, why'd you do that for? Because I missed out on X, Y, and Z. It's like, you can't have it both ways. So that's my thoughts on the backup quarterback. And then again, in the draft, you have to take one on day 2. Realistically,
What if Shedeur Sanders falls because Deion Sanders says, "Oh, my son can't play for certain teams," and he pulls an Eli Manning, and there's his hysteria on draft day, like not like Laremy Tunsil, but it's like, oh well, maybe we shouldn't draft Shedeur because we might have to trade him, and then let's just go with something safer. And then Shedeur Sanders falls to 10. Who's drafting picked? Who's number 10, Kadeem? Let's go Tanker.
I always have Tanker fun up. So currently pick 10 is the Chicago Bears.
Chicago Bears. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me pull up Tankathon and be a responsible podcast co-host. So Shedeur Sanders, Deion Sanders comes out and says, nah, man, my son's not playing in Tennessee, right? And is it Haslam? Haslam, the owner for the Browns, says, nah, I'm committed to Deshaun Watson because I put 200 M's behind him. You feel me? Guaranteed. And then we all know that Shedeur Sanders can't go to New York for whatever reason. They just don't want him in New York. New England and Mike Vrabel, he's already going to be the coach. We already assigned him head coaching position in New England. And Robert Kraft says, yo, we just spent a high pick on Drake May. Let's just keep Drake May. And then Jacksonville decides they're going to get Ben Johnson, the OC from Detroit, to come coach Sunshine from Remember the Titans. And we're going to see how that plays out. So 6 is the Raiders. The Dolphins
just fired the head coach.
Just fired the head coach, don't have a quarterback. Deion Sanders like, yo, that franchise is in disarray. Do not draft my son, right? We get to the paper planes for, I don't know if it's obvious reasons, but there are reasons why Deion Sanders might not want his son to play there, all right? Then we at Carolina where they have Bryce Young who is turning the corner, and New Orleans, and then you have Chicago. So now the Dolphins are in striking distance. Gotta love this gotta love the vision that I got here. Dolphins are in striking distance, Kadeem. You telling me the Dolphins shouldn't trade up the 8, 9, or 10 for Shedeur Sanders?
Me personally, no. Don't think he's that good a quarterback, but I need to watch more of his tape. But also the teams you just mentioned, if Sanders is legitimately there at pick 8, who's gonna jump Miami to get him? Looking at the draft, like anyone behind Miami, the
Right.
Colts at 14,
at 14, and Seattle at 18. Like, so I feel you. So my thing is, what happened? All right, so forget the trade. Shedeur Sanders falls to 13. Kadeem, what you gonna do?
Ignore him. Like I'm not taking Shedeur Sanders at 13. Like legitimately, I'm not doing it.
All right,
no, not at all.
All right, that's your opinion. My opinion is actually the same. But I'll just say, I would take it. But I just feel like I don't know about Shedeur Sanders, if I'm being honest with you, and I'm out, absolutely out on Cam Ward, if I'm being real with you. That being said, I'm just saying, like, bro, at some point you have to absolutely think about, can I trust Tua to be a responsible quarterback for this franchise? Bro, Tua has checked so many boxes and changed so many narratives, or answered so many narratives, or changed them, whatever you want to say. And basically, deep ball, we got that. Accuracy, we got that. You can't do this, we got that. Can't do that, we did that. And now he just made everybody right on the durability conversation. So now all the people who did the Homer Simpson when Tua was balling and was in MVP conversations and they was doing the Homer Simpson walking back, they all came back out and said, see, I told you can't stay healthy. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So now that it is apparent, it is right here in front of everyone's face. So much so that Chris Grier, the general manager for the Miami Dolphins, came out and said, all right, look, our quarterback, the franchise wasn't available for 6.5 games. You know what I'm saying? And we missed the playoffs by one game, although we missed the playoff by more than one game, but we missed the playoff by one game. Like, I think the answer's in there. Dude said it as polite as he could possibly say, Tua's never available. And he was very professional in the way he said it. He could have just said, yo, we got a quarterback that's not available. And he didn't do that. He didn't say that. You know what I'm saying? So all that being said, there has to be a conversation. Are we drafting to be prepared for a quarterback to win us a Super Bowl if Tua goes down? Or are we just drafting a backup? Or are we drafting a replacement? That all those things have to be considered. Like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? So, because I really don't know. All I do know is when Tua's on the field, he's a top 5 quarterback. I know that for sure. But I also know there's a chance he might not be on the field every game. I know that as well. So that's where we are.
So shout out to everyone in the comments. Banana4 or just Banana says, have we cut Tua yet? Dope little picture of a banana. I take it in Miami with sunglasses and the 99 jersey. Dope little photo. The Dolphins haven't cut Tua yet. Shout out for Cat for he says, gentlemen. Shout out to Dolphin fan with the dolphin emoji and fins up. And shout out to Mr. Finisher says, Kadeem, Charlie, it's no time, it's go time. Love that theme song.
Appreciate you. Hey, who's the jersey that banana was wearing in that picture? What jersey was that?
99, Jason Taylor.
Oh, Jason Taylor. Hey, is that the brother of Joy Taylor?
I don't think he wants to be related to her right now, but you know, that's what it is. I think he likes how his sister's behaving, but
all right, we move on.
Banana says top 5 QB in AFC East, maybe. I'm going to assume that isn't a Tua fan. Listen, make sure you stick around, Go Time Dolphins, see you're subscribed for our quarterback rankings episode coming out after the draft. Multiple quarterback ranking episodes with a bunch of different, affiliates of the podcast. It's going to be amazing. And where Tua's ranked this year, I think he's going to be super high and super low on different rankings. And then he also said, I'd ban him now while you have the chance. I don't know what. And this is about Dolphin fan. Shout out to Kent Baxter. He says, if you don't build a strong O-line, you want to win in anything, period. Just want to say though, on Chris Grier's Tua comment, when I say he was honest and candid, I think it's stuff like that where, again, he very easily could have continued to play like the nice gym and said, hey, Tua's still the face of the franchise, we've paid him, all that kind of stuff. This season was unfortunate, but XZ. I feel like he was like, nah, dude, it's not good enough. We told you to protect yourself and you got injured against Buffalo and you came back and you got in. My job is now on the line because you can't do the basics of protecting yourself. And if you can't do the basics of protecting yourself, I'm not going to do my basics of protecting yourself in front of the media. Yo, I've said to you, if the season starts and Tua gets injured again, Chris and McDaniel were gone. Like, I reckon that like we're not doing this again. Like, you guys are so closely linked to Tua. Tua's out, you guys are out. So I think Chris Grier will have a serious conversation with Tua and be like, listen, job's on the line now. You do what you need to do to keep healthy, and I'll do what I need to do to keep healthy, as in do a better line, get you a run game. But understand the days of me going for bat for you and ignore what people are saying, nah, not gonna happen. Like, we're still cool, we're still buddies, but the kiddie gloves are off now. Like, you need to fix up and make sure that you're available for 17, 18, 19, 20 games next season.
I ain't gonna lie, Kadeem. I love Tua to death, bro. I don't think he changes, bro. Like I really believe. How old is dude? 27, 26?
26. I'll double check.
26 years old, bro.
He is 26, turned 27th on the 2nd of March.
Tua is 26 years. Do you remember when you were 26-year-old, Kadeem?
Yeah, I do vividly. Like,
do you? You know what? Honest moment here on Go Time Dolphins. Do you looking back at 26-year-old Kadeem? Do you feel like you were more mature for a 26-year-old, or do you still feel like, you know what, I really still didn't even know much now that I look back at it?
I think it's interesting because I was a dad at this point. I had a 2-year-old son, so I kind of had to be pretty mature. You know, I've never been a pretty mature person. I'm still quite childish, so I don't think it's a stretch. I don't think it's a stretch to say how I am at 35 is how I was at 26, like nine years ago. Like, I've kind of always just been who I am. But I've also known when it's time to be serious and, you know, how to protect myself in certain situations. And I think what's interesting about Tua, before I pass it back to you, is what game does he throw the interception and he doesn't make any attempt to tackle the person? And it is the Texans game. It's the Texans game. He throws the interception.
The Texans game, he ran and dove and almost got hit. He got hit in the back of the head.
Okay, so what was the game where he didn't to make a tackle after the interception?
I don't remember that game. He didn't make an attempt to make the tackle?
I feel like there's a game where Tua throws the interception and he just went, I'm not going to try. I agree. There definitely was a game, and I've mentioned it, where he did throw the interception and he got hit in the head and it's like, yo, dude. And I'll double check that.
That was the Texans game. And he was like, no, that was not the Texans game because we won that game.
It was the Rams. It was the Rams.
Yeah, we won that game, and then he was in the post game conference like, bro, you see me, see you. You know what I'm saying? I like, what you thought? You thought people gonna get out your way? You feel me? So yeah, that was the Rams game.
Yeah, so I feel like it's the Texans game. It's Texans because it's Devon Achane who comes out of nowhere to stop the pick six. And I feel like Tua learned from that. Like, hey, I'm not going to put myself in harm's way. But at the exact same game, he gets injured. So it's like, it's a matter of.
Hold on. Was he injured before, though? Was he injured before the pick? That might be a good question because that might be why he didn't try to make the tackle. Because he couldn't make the tackle because he was injured. And then that means he didn't learn. If that was the case.
Yeah. Either way, at some point in the game, he done the right thing and done the wrong thing. And I think, I said it before, that's always going to be, he's going to, you know, do things like, hey, I'm going to slide super early to make sure I'm okay. But if it's week 18, you need to win to make the playoffs and you're running for that first down, he's diving head first. There's nothing you can do about it.
Bro, like, why are we doing this, bro? You said if it's week 18 and he needs to get the first down. Bro, if it's week 8, he's going to do it, bro. He's just going to do it, bro. He's going to do it.
It'll be week 1. The only time it will be season. Preseason, like, I ain't doing this. Like, but just a few more comments before I pass it back to you. Banana says, Wolfpack bro, love seeing a new channel. I'll go back to work and keep listening. Appreciate it. And then is it Taya Kanai says, after a quarterback able to challenge Tua, someone who can be a starter in 1 or 2 years, then choose between him and Tua and trade the other. And what I will say on that very, very quickly, this isn't to say that Tua is Patrick Mahomes at all. But I feel like teams struggle to take a quarterback in year 1 to be a starter down the line. It's a lottery. And I don't necessarily trust the Dolphins to successfully find a quarterback who can sit and develop, especially when, Charlie, you said yourself.
I don't believe McDaniel develop players, let alone quarterbacks.
Exactly.
McDaniel's staff is almost it's similar. You know, maybe that's a reach. I don't want to say they're as bad as the Flores staff because Flores super blew it. Had Ben Johnson on the staff and got rid of him, by the way. Ben Johnson could have been
No, not necessarily true.
Ben Johnson wasn't in the building when Flores got here?
No, and that's what. So he was in the building before Flores got here, and Flores came in and brought in his own people. So that's when Ben Johnson left.
That's my point. Like, so he had the ability to retain him.
Oh yeah, but sorry, but I thought you were saying he was in the building with Flores.
No, but that's my point. Like he didn't have. We didn't have to do the offensive coordinator carousel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have four OCs in 2 seasons. We have Ben Johnson, and now Ben Johnson's about to go to a Super Bowl potentially. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if he goes to the Super Bowl or not, he's the most coveted head coach, OC in the NFL right now. Is Ben Johnson, and he was with the Dolphins when Flores was here, and Flores didn't retain him. That being said, Mike McDaniel does not develop players. I do not believe it, and definitely doesn't develop quarterbacks, because there's no quarterback that we've seen in 3 seasons besides Tua that we've got anything out of. And I believe it's that Tua is just his own, like, is the outlier. I believe McDaniel got his mind right, and Tua is that dude. So nah, bro, I don't believe McDaniel can develop a quarterback right now. McDaniel can't even call a play on time, bro. This is a problem. Bro.
Agreed. Definitely agreed. The other problem which McDaniel, which Chris Grier spoke about, and we'll get to the playoffs probably in bonus time. We'll probably keep this side of the episode on Dolphins specifically, but the offensive line. Now, Chris Grier kind of joked about, when he was asked about, it's like, what took you so long, all this kind of stuff, but essentially said this offseason they will address / rebuild the offensive line. And correct me if I'm wrong, he kind of said that the reason they did, it's weird. The Dolphins in the last 2 years have picked up like Patrick Paul, Aaron Brewer. They've like attempted to do stuff, but from what he said was, we've lost Kendall Arm, Teron Armstead still up in the air. We need to rebuild and replace the guys who are leaving. Whereas last year they basically wanted to run it back. They had guys who were well sought after in the league. I think you mentioned Smith. And again, for the most part, the Dolphins' offensive line was good last year. Yes, you could have said, okay, you need to replace Robert Hunt, or you should have had a magic ball to know that Isaiah Wynn wasn't going to come back until week 9 or 10 whenever he came back. But I'm not drinking the Chris Kool-Aid. I can genuinely see why they looked at the unit they had and said, we are going to, we are okay with these guys, because those guys, when healthy, are a top 12 offensive line. And same people say draft a backup quarterback or draft a quarterback to replace Tua eventually when he goes down. The Dolphins took that exact approach with Paul and said, we know Teron Armstead isn't going to play every single snap of every single game. What we're going to do is bring in someone who, when he's out, can step in, and then when he retires or leaves, can take over. And people weren't happy with that. So, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
If you draft Tua's replacement or his backup when he goes down, then that means he's going to come in behind this O-line that Tua's playing behind right now. I don't know how that makes all the sense in the world. But Chris Grier said about the 2020 draft, oh yeah, this is the time we'll have to go in for O-line now. We'll have to fix the O-line now, like we did in 2020. And he mentioned Austin Jackson, friend of the podcast, Austin Jackson, friend of the podcast, Robert Hunt, and Solomon Kinley. I'm like, well, Solomon Kinley only had like a year, 2 years, I think a year and a half, something like that.
It was a year and he was gone.
and he was decent that year, and then I guess ate himself out of a job. Like, dang, it's just crazy. So what's the chances that you hit on 2 or 3 more linemen again? And then to be real with you, it took some time for a couple of them boys to develop, because you moved Robert Hunt around before he got settled in. Austin Jackson had a friend of the podcast, them boys. had time before he got settled in. So time is something that we don't have right now, and time is something Chris Grier doesn't have right now. So to go into a draft when everyone in the league knows you need something, will you be getting sniped by other teams coming up to take what you need because they need it too. So that's why they say in the NFL, yo, you should draft when you don't have needs. When you don't have a need at that position, that's when you draft that position. Almost like the way I shop, Kadeem. Like, bro, did you know like deodorant is like $8 now? Like, I had no idea, Kadeem. You know why I didn't know? Because I buy packs of deodorant, like, right? And I'll be like, oh, it's a sale. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a 70-year-old, like, oh, it's on sale. You know what I'm saying? I got to get it right now. Buy two, get two. Right, so I buy two, get two. Oh, hold on. I buy two, get two, chilling. You feel me? I'm using my DO. You feel me? Oh, laundry detergent. Buy one, get one. So I buy some laundry detergent. Don't even need it. I got 1.5 at the crib, right? Next thing you know, Kadeem, 2 months later, I'm not even out of nothing. And it's on sale again. I'm like, yo, I'm pretty good right now. You know, pick them up. Just buy some more.
Yep.
Right? Bro, so that's how I operate. You know what I'm saying? Apparently, I was ahead of inflation. You feel me? And then next thing you know, I'm not home no more. So I'm like, dang, I got all my supplies at the crib. So, but I'm out on a job right now. Let me go buy some deodorant. Bro, I seen the price of deodorant, damn, $12, bro. I'm like, what? I could not believe
inflation,
it. Had no idea. So same thing with your O lineman, bro. Someone's gonna come up and snipe you, bro. That's my bad. I went off on a tangent.
Well, no, I was just gonna say it's what the Eagles do. Like the Eagles draft offensive linemen every single year, and they actually will start on like 30 other teams in the league, and they just sit in behind it for a year and go, hey, you know, we'll use you next year. I will never forget watching Jason Kelsey on like, do the draft, and he drafted his replacement, and he was like, that's amazing. Yeah, playing right now, but that's amazing because this guy's a dude. And you know, when I do eventually leave, they've got a guy behind me. Like that's what good teams do. They draft a year in advance. They can, you know, they can see potential whole team. Okay, like this guy here right now is a starter. So we're taking him now, 100%. Shout out to IMAX says gentlemen. And the Dolphins can't do that because they don't have a complete unit to then, you know, take advantage of that. And when they do, they mess the pickup, aka Noah Igbenogany. You have Byron Jones and Xavier Howard. Your thoughts on both of those guys, it doesn't matter, but supposedly have your next guy, and the guy doesn't work out until you go to Washington. Whereas on Go Time Dolphins, we're like, hey, do you know what you do? You draft Devin Stingley Jr., you sit for a year, and then take over from Xavier Howard. Now, Devin Stingley Jr. is playing smash and grab, no diddy, with Tyreek Hill, taking Tyreek Hill balls, no diddy, or I guess, again, Joe Taylor. And yeah, like that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, Dolphins need to hit on the guys in free agency so that when it comes to the draft, they can still take a lineman because someone is going to jump them or take offensive lineman there. So it's going to be a very difficult offseason, fill all the holes, no D. But they have to try and find a way to do it.
Shout out to Touche's 24, Amik Robertson. Corner for Detroit, got drafted by the Raiders, balling in Detroit right now. He was in that 2020 draft. I wanted no part of Noah Igbenogany. Shout out Noah Igbenogany playing well in Washington. You know what I'm saying? But I had no problem with picking a corner in that draft. Like, I like, yo, I'm here for it. Just don't pick the wrong corner. And it is what it is. And here we are. Hey, while y'all here, please hit that like button for us. You know what I'm saying? We rock with y'all. Y'all rock with us. Please hit that like button. Subscribe to Go Time Dolphins. Hit us up on Patreon. I just told y'all to do a bunch of stuff, but before you do anything, just hit that like button for us already. Kadeem, you got something before we get up out of here?
Yeah, about players the Dolphins should have drafted. There's one guy who's getting some love in the AFC team within the playoffs. Plays guard. And I lost count of how many mock drafts we did where we picked this guy, I think, in virtually every single mock draft we did. So I'm just going to read out his stats. This guy plays, and tell me when you know who it is. played 268 snaps at left guard. This is left guard. Has allowed 3 penalties, no sacks, no hits allowed, and 4 total pressures. Plays in the AFC, and his team are in the playoffs. Who do you
Plays
think
for the
it is?
Ravens. He plays for the Ravens.
Plays for the Ravens.
Andrew Voorhees.
Andrew Voorhees. Charlie, how many times did we sit here and go, the dude's injured, but that dude is going to be all pro. So you take him, you allow him to recover in the building, and then you plug him in when he's healthy, and you are laughing. And the Ravens right now are laughing because they clearly heard Go Time Dolphins mock drafts and took a guy who was injured, but it was like the round was so late that no one cared. He was a Charlie.
I think
What
it was
round do you think?
6 or 7.
A 7th round pick, Charlie.
Yep.
Where, hey, it doesn't matter at this point. You just try and take what you can. So, yeah, the Ravens drafted Andrew Voorhees at pick 229 and are laughing all the way to the playoffs right now.
Hey, you know what? I recently realized I might be an O-line picker too. I could pick O-line too, bro. I realized that in my latest years, but it's crazy, bro. Just take this man and say, yo, just go get right, bro. Take care of yourself, get right, and come back and be a starter for us. How bad do we need a guard this year, Kadeem?
As bad as I can't make a joke about that. Like, it's arguably the biggest need on the team, and you need 2 guards. Like, it's bad. And the Ravens found a starter in the 7th round who, if we're totally honest, is what, late day 1, early day 2 pick if he's healthy.
Touche 24, Andrew Voorhees.
Yeah.
I'm done, bro. Hey, someone just called me. I will work almost for free. Almost. You know what I'm saying? Like, but just look out. Like, can I get my writer's credit? You know what I'm saying? Like, let me get some type of something, bro. Like, just something, bro. Let me get like the team shirt and a polo or a button down and sit in the suites and watch the game with y'all. And I can say I'm a part of the team. And let me just pick y'all players, bro. That's all. Like I do this from the couch on YouTube. Y'all got every high school snap. I got 6 minutes of YouTube. That's crazy to me. That's all I got. Then you got something else?
No, we get some stuff at the playoffs, and Fitzpatrick comments on Brian Flores, if you heard them, Charlie. We'll get into that in bonus time. Thanks for everyone who joined us. We'll be back in about 4 seconds, so stay with us. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and we shall see. Why am I doing the outro? Dude, you do the outro. What am I doing?
I don't know what you. I didn't know where you was going with that, bro.
Yeah,
y'all know.
I don't realize.
Y'all know what time it is. Stay positive. Test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time.
So where do you want to start first? Playoffs or Brian Flores?
Playoffs? Yeah, let's do playoffs.
So shout out to Cap for Life. He said, where's it gone? Who do you guys like in the playoffs?
I don't like what my homeboy likes. Shout out to Pound, my old barber, lifelong friend. He cut my hair, doing his thing. Achille Apparel. I don't like what he likes. Him and Draymond Green likes the same thing, which is KC loses in their first game in the playoffs. Like whoever wins out of the Chargers and Houston basically will play KC, and they're supposed to beat them. Like, I don't like that. I don't know what Draymond and Pound are on right now, but I don't like it. Who do I like in the playoffs? What I want and who I like might be different. I want Detroit to do something. I want Detroit to win it all, or Minnesota. I'll be happy with one of them two teams winning it all. I'll let you go, Kadeem.
Yeah, I like the Ravens. It's difficult to look past until they lose. It's virtually impossible to look past the Chiefs. Like, it's crazy, but I don't want to say the Chiefs. Like the Bills, the AFC, that's what I care about. And then in the NFC, I kind of like the Eagles. Yeah, again, it's hard to look past the Vikings and the Lions. What I will say, I hate the seeding situation where, the Lions and Vikings are playing for the 1 seed. The Vikings need to get the 5th seed. That's me, that's stupid. Like, why are
14-3?
Why are the Bucks the 4th seed? Like, it's the dumbest thing in the whole entire world. You know
what? This is a conversation right here. So you telling me you win your division, you don't get no prize for that?
No, you get a prize, but win your division with a good record. You win your division at 9 or 10 and whatever the record was. Listen,
10-7.
10-7, yeah. It's a good record, but 14-3 is better. To me, like, especially if you're playing a trash division and you win it, that's not a reward. Like, the reward is actually having a good record. So me personally,
hold on. So you win your division, you have to get something, bro. Like, just to go to the playoffs isn't enough. You should get a home game. You should be able to host and get a home game. Now, I agree. Flip side is I shouldn't be 14-3 on the road.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something has to change. I don't know what you changed though. That's crazy. Because the Dolphins been a victim of this for a long time too. Like, we'll have some really good teams and then don't even make the playoffs. And then there's 3 teams in the playoffs with lesser records than us. So we've been victims of this forever.
Yeah. This is a whole episode. I just think in those situations, common sense should prevail. And I think there's always a way to navigate that. It would be funny if the Bucks, basically go on to win the whole thing. But no. Yeah, that's just my quick 2 pence.
Matter of fact, wild card teams win the Super Bowl. Look at the Giants, Eli Manning Giants. Look at Philly.
Yeah.
Like, so they win the Super Bowl. So it's like, I don't know, bro. Win your division. Then don't complain about being 14-3, be 15-2, and then we won't have this conversation.
It's true.
So what did Flores say?
No, what did Fitzpatrick say about Flores?
Who said what about Flores?
Fitzpatrick.
Minka?
No, Ryan.
Oh, all right. So Ryan Fitzpatrick, what did he say?
Basically, I'm paraphrasing, was like, I don't know how anyone can hire this guy head coach. Because he came into Miami, super nice. And then that first season, when he hadn't won a game, everything changed. He hated everyone, wasn't a nice person.
What, everyone? You broke up.
Alienated.
Okay.
And that basically he said, if I'm going to hire him, call up anyone who worked with him in Miami for a reference, it's not going to be good. So I will send you the clip after. Try and get shout out to Finn's Extra. I think Finn's Extra have the video up. It's like 2 minutes 19. But the short version is Ryan Fitzpatrick said Brian Flores became a dictator, became unrecognizable, and would struggle to get a reference from another in Miami, which says a lot about. And again, there's still people who we ourselves were shocked that Brian Flores got fired. Like, we didn't see it coming. The more that came out about all that kind of stuff, but I think it's interesting. Ryan Fitzpatrick, a veteran who was in that building, I said, yeah, not a nice dude. not a nice dude.
Bro, there's a chance. All the stuff that's coming out now, the verbal spat between what is believed to be Xavier Howard, Tua, and Brian Flores in the post-game aftermath against Tennessee. And shout out to Mike Gesicki. Let's go throw it 40 times in the rain. But
crazy.
All of the fallout with Flores. It seems like to me, and now Fitzmagic saying this, it seems like to me the Dolphins might have fired Flores even if we made the playoffs that year. And then all of it would have been like even more like catastrophic. Like, wait, the Dolphins don't know what they're doing. They made the playoffs, went on a 9-game winning streak. 9-game winning streak it would have been. Made the playoffs. This coach is overperformed in 2 seasons, and y'all just fired him.
Yeah, but, crazy. What Fitz did say is, and this is tweet, would love for anyone interested to listen to the whole conversation that Whit and I had, Andrew Whitworth, sorry. I met Brian Flores and consider him a friend. The end in Miami wasn't pretty, but I think he has grown and can look back on his tenure in Miami, knowing he wasn't perfect and has learned a lot. And he did say that, he left Miami, went to Pittsburgh and, saw what a leader like Mike Tomlin was. Now in Minnesota, so hopefully he's learned stuff. But basically, let's not pretend that the Brian Flores tenure in Miami was all roses. And also, Banana, his pleasure meeting you, gents. I'll definitely be back. Black Banana, we look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks for getting involved in this episode.
Bro, I can't. After all of this, I don't think you can sign Flores to head coach ever, because it's not like he went to the AFC Championship or something. He did overperform, you know what I'm saying? And he did do a lot with less. 1 second, some importance coming up.
No worries.
Hold on. I will say, so look, he did do a lot with less, but in all of you never heard anything good about Flores except that he overperformed, and that was it. So nah, man, I think I'm out on Flores as a head coach. Like, not saying that I would have hired him, but like I think this is it. This is the straw that broke the camel's back. We know where that came from. I think this is the straw that broke the camel's back, because if the quarterback that you preferred is talking to you about you like this, it's a wrap for you.
But I think what might be the case, or what might be the thing to do with Flores, is give him a quarterback that doesn't need develop, someone who is strong. Like, again, a Ryan Fitzpatrick, like, hey, like, because again, it does say, and I want to, be fair, Fitz did as well. He's was likable, relatable, and learned a lot, but was able to get the best version of the players. Again, as the losing happened, that's when he burned the bridges, bless you, alienate themselves.
I try to catch that button.
And have the humility to ask questions and collaborate. And, hopefully from what he's learned from the buildings he's been in, he's grown. But yeah, it sounds like it's going to be an uphill battle for Brian Flores, because of he might not just get any good references from guys who worked with him in Miami. But who knows? And also, Mr. Finisher says, now we have a coach with a great personality and can't control his locker room.
That's all I got, man. Let's get up out of here.
Then, yeah, we will be back tomorrow being Thursday, with Fins Extra as to talk all things Anthony Weaver, which I think will be an interesting episode, because it's not going to be a complete loving of Anthony Weaver. So make sure you join us for the episode. Until then, we shall see you soon. Peace.